Okay, good morning everyone. Haribol Namaste. So before we start, let's first offer our humble obeisances to our dear spiritual master who has put us in light, giving us knowledge about our true identity, that we don't get lost in this jungle of material life. Namaom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutali Srimate Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Ite Namini Bhajashri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adigor Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Bol Hare Bol. Okay, so let me drink first. The reason why I'm asking you to pray, to offer our humble obeisances to our dear spiritual master. Anya na nagklase pa ko ha. Sige. Okay. Is because when we offer prayer or when we ask for something like to clear our mind, to purify our heart, we need to hear it. We need to at least hear the sound that we are uttering, because the mind is very strong. It's very strong that even if you are talking about it, like you're praying, your mind flies somewhere. So it is a kind of help to ourselves that when we pray, especially when we do our japa, when we offer obeisances, anything, we at least hear the sound that we are praying. And in that way, we are helped to focus, to divert our mind towards the object of our worship or our admiration. And that is the Supreme Person, none other. And in most cases, when we bow, after we do Artik and Guru Puj, we offer our obeisances, then we should make it so that we can hear the sound. Most especially when we do Kirtan or Artik, we keep saying, chanting is the solution to all our problems. But it's difficult for us to open our mouth and even sing loud the very relevant names of the Supreme Person. It is advised by Lord Chaitanya in this age of Kali Yuga, or the age of quarrel, chaos, and confusion, that the only easiest way, not the only, but the easiest way, actually there are many processes, but the easiest way to serve the Supreme Person in this age is by chanting the holy names. There's no hard and fast rule. We just have to open our mouth and say the holy names. There's no effort. But because of material contaminations, because of the modes of material nature that we keep on hearing every day, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, we are influenced by these three modes. And the reason we are not interested to utter these important names of God, it is because of the influence of this material nature, the modes of material nature. So if we are aware of that nature, that we are in this material dimension, we cannot escape from this, especially in our stage that we are still neophyte devotees or struggling to become close friend with our dearmost Lord Krishna. The effort that we do must be bigger or must be huge, that it can surpass the modes of material nature. Because sometimes, due to our constant exposure with these modes or with this environment, we tend to identify with it. We try to say to ourselves, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I don't like, but we don't know that it's just the dictate of our mind. That's how powerful the mind is. It can make or unmake us. It can be our best friend, and in contrast, it can be our best enemy. So awareness of this situation helps us get away from that. The reason why I'm telling you this is because the topic that we will be discussing this morning is about the mind. How important to identify that we are not our mind. Since our birth, no one has taught us about this truth, that we are not our mind. No great person in our area, in our place, in our school has ever taught us about this science of knowing ourselves apart from the senses. And worst, apart from the king of the senses, which is the mind. All the senses, direction, the dictates of the senses are all coming from the mind. That is why, since birth, as a parent, as a mother, as a father, as a mentor, we have to be sensitive with whom we are associated with, whom our children, our child, ourselves will be associated with, because it forms part of who you are now. And I can remember in my elementary and high school days, you are taught that your environment makes you, heredity, the genes, but we are never taught the essence of the soul, that we are not this material body. It is just when I encounter our spiritual master who taught us, makes so much effort to teach us the reality of our situation. We are not human beings. We are temporarily in the body of a human being. We are trapped in this condition because of our actions, because of our activities. That is why it's very important. It is crucial that we must be selective with our association, because as Sir is always reminding us that whatever activities we do, that is your consciousness. Of course, if your consciousness is this, then you cannot do activities that is not related to that. So whoever you are with, the activities that you are doing create an environment, and that becomes your character. Just like, for example, if you are growing up with a mellow environment, kind people surround you, No cursing, no lazy people. People are into working hard. People are focused in the real goal of life. If you grow in that kind of environment, then we can already predict, or not even predict, we can already conclude that life is heading towards betterment or transcendence. But if you are with a kind of group that is not interested in making close relationship with the Supreme Person, because there's a lot of these kinds that we can see around, that we can observe. How is that? When you go to their place, you can never see a form of God. What you can see are the things that surround them, things that are not lasting and things that are not beneficial to their well-being. And the reason why they do that is because maybe they're so attracted to these things, or maybe no one has told them about it. So that's why I'm saying it's crucial to always be selective with your association, because without knowing it, you already get influenced by it. Just like when you're walking alongside the ocean, at first you can observe that nothing is going on. If you try to taste the skin, then it has no saltiness in it. But the moment you're there, the longer you stay along the ocean, you can't even notice that you're already very salty. So that's how Maya manipulates us. It is a kind of exposing yourself to a thing which is not related to your goal, to your real goal. And it is telling to yourself, I'm okay, I'm good, but in the real sense, you're not. And you can always have an evaluation of yourself by hearing the person that is bona fide, spiritually bona fide. Why am I saying it is spiritually bona fide? Because there are lots of people who are bona fide but not spiritual. So in a way, we are interested of them, but not that much, because we know that we are not living in this world forever, for long. The body doesn't last long, but we are not conscious of it because of our daily activities, our daily grind, our work, our daily routine. It keeps us from thinking, from realizing the hard truth. Why hard? It's because there's no escape to that. My body just got sick for almost 2 weeks, and it is difficult to really drive our body towards doing spiritual activities when you're not used to it. So when our body is still good, still young, when our body is still in shape, we should discipline that, most especially our mind. We should discipline that even our bodies are not capable of chanting, and our bodies are not capable of worshiping, doing japa or other processes, still the mind can chant. And it is not an overnight thing. It is a kind of process that you regularly do. It will not just come as you wish. I have talked to a cancer patient, and she was telling me, "Ma'am, I used to chant 25 rounds." She is not a disciple, but she believes in the power of the holy names, and she believes in the instruction of our spiritual master. That's why she's doing it 25. And I told her I cannot even chant that much. But it's easier for you to do that. It's because she's putting so much energy, so much time in chanting. And now that that her body is having cancer, then she told me it's difficult to chant that many rounds in a day. But because she is used to it, then the mind just continues to chant. Although the body is tired, especially when she has chemo or radiation, then the body just falls asleep and very dizzy, that it's difficult to utter the words of the holy names of God. But because of his constant association with the holy names, still the mind keeps on thinking and chanting the holy names. So in that way, we are in the proximity of transcendence, meaning when we offer our mind and heart, our senses, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then whatever happens to our body, whatever happens to us, then Krishna is in full control. There's no fear to that. But the mind will tell you, what if? Okay? It gives always us confusion. It gives us worries. Mothers, wives are very worried of so many things. But if we know that these worries are just products of the mind, then it will keep us from getting sick or getting swayed by the works of the mind. In the story of a gathering that I heard this early morning, when I learned that Bhagavandas will not be around, there's one Japanese woman who asked our spiritual master, where does this psychic power, where does this psychic power come from? And psychic, or that comes from the word psyche. Psyche is a Greek word meaning soul. So when you say psychic power, it is the work or the art of the mind. So when we say psychic power, it is the ability to do something by the use of our mind. So we oftentimes hear people say mind over matter. But actually, there's no difference between the two, because mind is still matter. And when you say matter, then it's temporary. In Japan, there are many psychic healers. So they can do things that normal people don't do. And they studied that. They made effort to be able to arrive at that kind of work. psychic healing. And we might construe that psychic power or healing is a kind of spiritual activity. It is not. It is the power of the mind. And even when Jesus was here on earth, he did many miracles so that people will believe him. People are interested to the activities but not the source of that. They're interested of the material energy, like he was able to walk on water, he was able to make a dead person back to life. They're interested to that, but they're not interested to the supreme energetic God. That's why Jesus had to do some miracles to be able to gain sympathy or faith or trust from people. That is a kind of materialistic consciousness that we still need to, they say, to see is to believe. That is a very far out idea, but that's what most people have as their principle. So we are very limited in our capacity to think, and God has inconceivable potencies that our mind cannot grasp. And that doesn't mean God is not powerful or not wonderful or having these qualities, because we cannot conceive those things. There are many qualities. Last night, I mentioned so many qualities or characteristics of God that we cannot fathom. That is because our mind is limited. So my point is, the mind has to be tamed. It has to be taught. It has to be disciplined. It is not the other way, that the mind influences us or the mind manipulates us. It has to be us to manipulate our mind so that it will not become our enemy. So the problem now is when we don't know that this mind is matter, that this mind is not us, that we should not be governed by it. Instead, we get hold of the mind and drives it towards serving the Supreme Person. It does not require many things. It is a matter of being submissive and being surrendered to the instructions of our spiritual master. We always hear this, listening to the instruction of our spiritual master, listening to the instruction of God. What is its relevance in our life? It is very important, very relevant, and it is the most important thing to have a spiritual master or someone in our life to be directing us what to do in terms of spiritual activities. Because the moment that we loosen ourselves from listening to the instruction of our spiritual master, immediately the mind comes, or the mind is there through illusion or Maya. We call it Maya. The Christians call it Satan. Through her power, immediately we can get swayed from our direction, our proper direction in life. To establish the real direction is by knowing first our identity, that we are spirit soul, we are spirit, not matter. We are spiritual, not material. Why is it important? So that we keep reminding ourselves, and we always get reminded with the lectures, the activities that we should be doing, that the things that are going on around us are just temporary. Temporary, it means they don't last. For example, we're experiencing poverty. Many in the Philippines, like 75%, are experiencing poverty. And why is that? It is due to our karma. We cannot blame anyone from experiencing this kind of status, but it is due to karma. What do you mean by karma? It is action. Whatever we do, it has a corresponding reaction. That's why it is advised in the scriptures that activities to be done while here in this material dimension must be an activity that is pleasing to the spiritual master. When we say pleasing, it means that it is in relation to his pleasure. It is in relation to his projects and programs. Because we say we love and serve God, but how? It's not by staying in the temple. It's not by staying or physically being doing the things that we think would please him. Just like when we clean the temple, that's a kind of activity that pleases him. Taking care of the garden so that we can offer flowers to him. Raise children that are God conscious. Have a farm with fruits so that the fruits can be offered to him. Anything relative to that. It's a kind of service that we do as long as there is love and devotion in it. It is the ingredient of love and devotion that must be in the service that we do. So that means we don't need to be someone or this and that to be able to serve and love God. Whoever, whatever you are in the community, in your family, in your society, you can dovetail your life to him by offering your service to him. So it's not that parang ang corny naman yan. Always think about God. Others, they feel shy when they discuss about God. Others, they don't like to be seen with people who are interested in knowing and loving God. They'd rather be with the association of non-devotees. They'd rather discuss things which are not related to serving God. They enjoy it. Even if we've heard so many times the importance of hearing, applying in life, but Maya is always there to pull us away from the real sense, from the real life that we should be doing. How to get away from that situation is by engaging more in our service. Engaging more means that when we chant, we have to be more sincere in our chanting. It is not mechanically done, meaning it's just like when you say it, then it's for the sake of just doing it, not mindfully doing it or pleasing God when you chant. In the beginning, it is like that. We don't have the taste to say it. We'd rather sleep, or maybe when we hear a lecture, we prefer to sleep, or immediately we yawn. We don't have interest. That is power of Maya, still mind. So let's not be mind conscious. We must be Krishna conscious. Anything that is not related to what we do, that is the power of Maya. And that's how wonderful it is to be situated in this kind. Herbal, Sir Brian. It's not very late yet. To be able to be in this kind of environment, because it helps us, sir, it helps us be reminded always of our service to God. Whatever domination we are in or we belong to, we don't need to leave that behind. We don't need to be, as I've said, to be somebody, to be someone else. It is just a matter of realigning your activities and serving God consciously. At times, we can observe that life is like a child that we keep on being reminded at. We are always being told by our mentors, and I don't know, you have to assess yourselves. What do we do in our life during the time that we are alone? After our work, what do we do? Do we have association that is not healthy in our spiritual life? Do we have a kind of neighbors or circles of friends that are not healthy in our quest for spirituality? Then it's high time to be evaluative. It's very critical, especially this time that we are confronted with so many tribulations in life. We easily get sick, there is accident, there are calamities around, then we don't know, because there's no guarantee that we'll live long. Of course, life is eternal, but I mean to be in this body, there's no guarantee that we'll live until like 40, 50, 60. My body will turn 60 this June, and I don't even think I would reach that far. But you know, Maya is really a shyster, a very tricky person. She will tell us, no, you're still young. You're still young. You can still do a lot. You can. She always gives you so many offers, but it's okay as long as the offer can be dovetailed in the service of God. If it's contrary, then we must not feel interested with it. Sometimes we feel lousy with our life because day to day It is a routinary work. But you have to look also some people that are not here. What are they doing in their life? Many are so busy accumulating so much wealth, because that's really the goal of many, economic development, because they think economic development, being rich, having so many things in life will make them happy. I tell you, it is not, and it will never satisfy you. Especially when you get sick, everything is sour, everything is bland. You know what's bland? B-L-A-N-D. What's bland? It has no taste. It's tasteless. Then don't wait for that time to come. You have to realize. That's why it's stated in Bhagavad Gita, the self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you, and that is our spiritual master, because he has seen the truth. Nakikita na niya yung totoo. Sir keeps on reminding us that when we have so much wealth in this lifetime, it's like having so much garbage. Yeah, she's saying the Erinola, the Plangana that we often use. Sometimes it becomes the Montero, the Patrol that you are driving. So everything is temporary. It keeps changing. The temple that we are in now, it used to be trees. It used to be raw materials, but it's transformed. They are transformed into temple. Then time comes, this will vanish back to simpler form, and it will be shaped again with another form. So nothing stays last in matter. What remains forever is our relationship with the Supreme Person. That's why that is the kind of consciousness or mindfulness that we should be engaging in. Mindfulness. We often hear that in YouTube, many seminars on mindfulness. What is real mindfulness? It is considering and really appreciating our spirituality. We should be mindful that we are spirit, we are not matter. And because we are spirit, the things or the activities that can fulfill, that can satisfy, that can make us contented is spiritually related. It should be, it's the service, the loving service, the untainted, pure loving devotional service to the Lord. And it's not easy. It's difficult. That's why we should make effort to attain that. There's no other way but make effort in chanting, in hearing, in doing all the 9 processes of devotional service. That's why this kind of event or affair that we're doing now is very great, has very great effect upon us. Because when you go outside of Madana, I don't think you can still be reminded with this. Maybe if you can tune in to the different accounts of the devotees who are making effort in posting their activities, so that when you come across with it, then you get reminded. There are so many lectures, so many kirtans, artics, guru puj, yoga activities, things that will help us be reminded or remember our eternality, which is the loving servant of Lord Krishna. So I would really appreciate if you have questions before we end my talk here. Miss Dulce, anything that you would like. You've heard so much already from Sir Bhagavandas, from the lectures that we've had, that if you have doubts, if you are confused, you can raise. And if I cannot answer, then I can raise it to Bhagavandas. Madam Devi, is that you? Any question? Anything that confuses you or have you some doubts? Madam Stella? No question. Madam Shovi? Madam Cheryl? Sir Brian? There's no question. And that's very nice. So that means, Madam Lizel. So that means there are two things here. If there's no question, it's either you understood everything, or you never get anything. I hope it's the former, not the latter. I hope you understood, and it's not enough to just understand things. We need to gradually improve our life. Firstly is to chant loud. When we do chanting here and when we dance, it should be with love and devotion. Because our body is really, now that you are still young, your bodies are still young, it is your best time to offer it to Krishna or to the Supreme Person by dancing, by chanting. Because when you're not here, saan kayo mag-dance for the Lord? Some processes are not like this. Okay, so while here, then let us make some investment. Magpundo na tayo. So that when you leave, then if there's a chance, good. If there's no chance, at least you have already put investment. Maraming investment, no? Life, non-life. Ito, investment in the processes of devotional service. Okay? So if you don't have questions, then we proceed to our concluding kirtan. Herbal, thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for listening. Let us pray first our obeisances to our dear spiritual master. We always make it a habit of thanking him because his words are really very powerful and they are a good driver in our life. His words, his instruction. When we say, take shelter of the lotus feet of our spiritual master, it is not literal that we put ourselves in his feet, but it is by following his instruction that we take shelter of his lotus feet. Okay? So let us say it loud. Namaom Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutali, Srimate Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Ite Namini, Bhajashri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivas Adigur Bhaktavrindam, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Namaste.
Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Tamed, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Siddhaswarupananda